Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to our weekly lesson. It's lovely to see you all again. Say hello. Let me know you're there. Welcome to today's live stream. Hope you've got your fraction head on, because we're going to be doing a little bit more work on fractions. We did some great work last week. So say hello. Let me see who's there. Say hello. It's my first time if you're new, or welcome back if you've been here before. Let's get an idea of who we've got and who's in the room today with us. Who's in the classroom? Who are you? Who are in the classroom today? Who's joining us? Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to put up a little brain teaser for you to have a look at. Okay, so we're just going to have a look at a brain teaser that I set you after last lesson. Okay, so there's a little brain teaser on the screen. So if you can have a look. Oh, hello, welcome, first time. Hello, hello. Lovely to see you. Okay, you don't need to put your own name on. We could just see your username, and that keeps you nice and safe. Okay, so just make sure we're not putting our own names on. I can just see your username, and that's absolutely fine. So welcome, and it's really lovely to see you. So we've got a brain teaser on the screen. So if you can just have a little look at that. Have a look at that first one and see what you think. So Ron has shared some grapes equally between two friends. Now, each friend receives fewer than 50 grapes. Each friend receives fewer. So they haven't got 50, they've got less than 50. So then look at those sentences at the bottom and think, what could the answer to those sentences be? What could the answer to them be? So he must have started with, what's a must sentence that you could write? What's a must sentence that you could write? If he has two friends and they each got fewer than 50 grapes, what's a must sentence? Like he must have started with, if they got less than 50 and he shared them equally, he must have started with what? Did he start with 1,000 and then he shared them, they got less than 50? Did he start with 500? What must he have started with if they got less than 50 each? I mean, 49 is less than 50, so what's the maximum he could have started with? He must have started with, what's double 49? See, he must have started with 98 or less. He must have started with 98 or less, because if he had 100, they could have 50 each, and they had less than 50 each. So exactly, well done. He must have started with 98 or less. What could he have started with? He must have had 98 or less. What could he have started with? Could have been what? Could have been what? What could it have been that he started with? What could it have been that he started with? Must have been 98 or less. But then if they had less than 50 each, it's not telling us exactly, hello, how many he started with. So what could Ron have started with? Give me some suggestions of what could he have started with. What could he have started with? Must have been 98 or less. Any other ideas of what he could have started with? Well, he could have started with 50, and then they would have got 25 each. Well, that's less than 50. Well, 100, if he started with 100, they would have got 50 each, wouldn't they? And they had less than 50. So the 100 is not going to be an idea. But anything less than 98 that can be shared equally in two groups, so not odd numbers, even numbers to be shared equally. So he could have started with 50, and they would have got 25 each. Divided by 2 is 25. He could have started with, what else? Could have started with 10. Divided by 2 is 5. He could have started with, can you think of any other ideas? Oh, 25 shared by 2. Doesn't say they had any halves. If you share 25 by 2, what you're going to get? What's half of 25? What's half of 25? Because remember, he shared them. He shared them equally. That's the really important word. He shared them equally between two friends. He shared them equally between two friends. So we're going to be dealing, yeah, they would have got 12 and a half grapes each. So he could have shared them in half. He could have said, right, well, there's your 12, and then I'm going to chop this grape in half. But I would assume that we are dealing with even numbers here. So try and give me another idea, another even number. Give me some even numbers, less than 98. 98 or less. Give me some even numbers. Let's have some other even numbers coming in that we can share equally into two groups without having to split a grape in half. That's really a little bit sad, isn't it? Oh, he could have had 90. And then if he had 90, they would have got how many each? Half of 90 is... Half of 90 is, let me see the answers coming in. Half of 90 is, have I got any answers coming in? If you split 90 into two groups, what would they get each? Another suggestion of 80. Yeah, another suggestion is coming in. Exactly. Half of 90. Thank you very much. Answers just come in. If they had 80, half of 80 is... Half of 80. Let me see your answers. Show me, show me. If he started with 80, what would they have got each? What would Ron's two friends have got each if he had started with that lovely suggestion of 80? 40. Exactly. So he could have started with 98, 96, 94, 92, 90. It's not a one answer question. Okay, we've been told the rules for the question. His friends had less than 50, fewer than 50. How many could he have started with? Well, he must have had 98 or less, because if he had 100 or more, they would have had 50 or more, and they only had fewer than 50 each. He could have had, then, as a whole range, any even number from 98 right down to 2. They could have had 2, and he got 1 each. Still fits the rule, still fewer than 50. What can't he have started with? What can't he have started with to keep in the rules? What can't he have started with to keep in the rules? He cannot have started with what? What can we say? If his friends are going to end up with fewer than 50, what could he have not started with? What answer would not fit into the rules? What answer would not fit into the rules? Yeah, well, 50, he could have started with 50, but he couldn't have started with double 50, which is 100. He couldn't have had more than 100, equal to or more than 100. Because if he had 100 or more, then his friends would have got more than 50 each. And the rule was they got fewer than 50. They got fewer than 50. Yeah, 99, exactly. Then they would have got 48 and a half each. And I think splitting a grape in half is a little bit much. You can do it, but I'd probably say, no, you have it. If I had 49 and there was another, I'd probably say, no, don't split that in half. 49 is enough. You know, the other person can have it. But they were shared equally. Okay, so well done. So let's have a look at the other one then. I have 24p and I divide it equally between two friends. How much will they each get? 24p divided equally between two friends. 24p divided equally between two friends. What's half of 24p? What's half of 24p? 2 watts make 24. Remember, we were looking at the multiplication as the opposite of division. Exactly. So they would get 12 what? 12 potatoes, 12 onions, 12 what? How much would they get each? 12 what? Think of the question. 24p divided by 2. What do they get each? 12 rabbits. They get 12 pence. Okay, let's not forget our units. Exactly. So now we're asking the question in a slight, thank you very much. No grapes, thank you. Because we've moved on, we're not doing grapes now. They had 24 pence, not 24 grapes. Okay, I now have 24p in 2p coins. Okay, so now I'm saying that 24p is in 2p coins. 24p in 2 pence coins. Think of your 2 times table. How many 2 pence coins will I have? How many 2 pence coins will I have? How many 2 pence coins will I have? How many will I have? Yeah, how many 2p coins will I have? And see if I've got enough to show you. No, I haven't got enough to show you, but I will have 12. Let's have a look. 2p, 2p, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will have 12 2p coins. 12. So Tom and Annie have the same counters. It's a new question now. So well done. 24p in 2p coins. 12 2p coins. So let's go on to the next question. Okay, let's rub this off so you're clear. We're on to the next question. Well done for those answers. So the last question. Tom and Annie have some counters. Tommy shares his counters into 2 equal groups, and he has 15 in each group. So he's got 15 counters over here, and he's got 15 counters over there. Okay, so that's Tommy's. There's Tommy's counters. That's Tommy's. Okay, who else is there with him? Annie. Annie groups her counters into 2s, and she has 19 groups. So she has 19 groups of 2. Who has more counters and by how many? So Tommy's got 2 groups of 15 and Annie's got 19 groups of 2. So I'm going to draw those here while you try and think of the answer. Who has more and by how many? Who has more and by how many? Okay, who has more? Who has more? So 2 lots of 15. That means Tommy has 30. 2 times 15. And 19 2s, 2 19s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. So 19 times 2 equals, 38. So Annie has 38 and Tommy has 30. So Annie has more. Well done. How many more does Annie have? Annie has 38 and Tommy has 30. How many more does Annie have? She has more. I know we've said that she has more, but how many more? How many more? This is Annie. How many more does Annie have? Annie has 38. Tommy has 30. 8 more. Exactly. Exactly. 8 more. Well done. Well done. So we were looking at, that's just a little mental warm up there. We were looking at fractions last week. Okay. We were thinking about fractions and we were thinking about equal parts of fractions. That's what we were thinking about. The fractions is not just putting things into groups, it's putting things into equal groups. And that's the thing that's really, really important to remember. Equal groups. So let's have a look at halves again. Let's have a look at halves. I'm going to drop you down so you can see what I've got here. And I'm going to ask you to fill in some gaps here when you look at these pictures for me. Okay, so let's just drop you down so you can have a little look. There we are. Let's drop you down. Yes, I just heard Rexy barking in the background. He's saying, why aren't I here looking at what's going on? So how many beads are there? How many beads are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads. 8 beads. Half of 8 is what? 8 beads. Half of 8 is what? There are 8 beads. Half of 8 is, well done. Half of 8 is 4. Because if we split these beads into 2 equal groups, there's your group and there's your group. Half each gives 4 each. Half of 8 is 4. Half of 8 is 4 because 2 groups of 4 is 8. 2 4s are 8. If we're splitting 8 into 2 equal groups, they get 4 each. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Ooh, my lovely, lovely sheep. Can you see my sheep? Let's move them up a little bit so you get to see them. Okay, there they are. How many sheep are there? And then tell me what half is. Okay, count them up. How many are there? And how many would half be? If half of those sheep ran out of the field? Oh, did somebody just put a little sheep emoji in? How clever. My daughter was laughing at my sheep. And I think they're quite cute. They do the job. 14 sheep, quite correct. So there are 14 sheep. Absolutely right. 14 sheep. Half of 14 is what? 2 watts make 14. Exactly. Thank you very much. I love the way you have done that. And thank you for your lovely sheep. Half of 14 is 7. So if the farmer wanted to sell this pilot half of the sheep, he would sell him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would sell him 7. There's your half, and you've left the farmer with the other half. So the pilot takes half away for his farm, and the farmer keeps half with him. Half of 14 is 7. 2 7s are 14. Split half into 2 equal groups. Splitting 14 into 2 equal groups gives you 7 each. And then let's look at these marbles. Okay, can you see these marbles? How many marbles are there? And tell me what half is. Tell me what half is. Okay, so if these 2 pilots want to play marbles and they're going to share the marbles equally, how many marbles will they get each? Good counting. There are 12 marbles. So if these pilots are going to share those marbles equally, then half of 12 is 6. 2 6s are 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Half of 12 is 6. Double 6 is 12. Okay, all of those things, all of those maths words are ways of dividing, putting groups together in the same way. If you've got 12 and you've got to make 2 equal groups, it will be 6. If you've got 2 6s and you double it, it's 12. Okay, so you can use your times tables to help you to do those things. So now, when we did our lesson last week on ClickMeet in this new platform, lots of you said you liked the quizzes. So I've done a few more quizzes today. So let's have a look at a quiz. I am going to get my quizzes up. I've got a few quizzes here. So let me just find the one that I want to do for us. And here we go. We are starting the quiz. So off you go. Can you do the quiz, please? Can you do the quiz and put your answers in? Let's do the quiz and put our answers in. Let's do the quiz. Are we going? Oh, yes, we've started. Well done. Well done. Excellent. Excellent. Good, good, good. Here we go. Brilliant. All busy, busy, busy. All busy, busy, busy. That's it. Look at those halves. What is half of 10? Thinking about those answers. What is half of 10? What is 1/2 of 8? What is half of 24? Okay, we're nearly done. I'm going to close the quiz in a moment. So let's get those quizzes in. Let's get those quizzes in. I'm going to give 10 more seconds and then we are going to close the quiz. I'm just going to do that quickly over here so I can just check that that's all gone through. Okay, so I'm going to end voting now. It's got a few people just finishing off. Okay, so I'm going to end voting. So a little. Okay, so well done. So everybody got a good chance, and we have got the results. So we've got a few people, a few people who have done that quiz. Not everybody managed to finish. And we've probably got about 3/4 all doing that well. So well done. So hopefully you got your results back. Tells you what you got. Yeah, tells you your scores and how you did. 100% means you've got it all right. So I can see the results of everybody. You didn't see question 3? Well, it was there. I just did question 3. So I don't know. We'll do another quiz in a minute. It doesn't matter. These are just different ways of practicing. But I saw question 3 on mine, so I'm not sure why you didn't. Now, you'll have your results telling you how many you got right. If you got 100%, that's total. You got them all right. Okay. If you got less than 100%, then you might have made a few mistakes. But if some of you didn't see question 3, I don't know why, because it came up on mine. You might have to scroll down. There's a little scroll bar on your screen. If you can just use that to scroll you down. Okay. So we looked at halves of numbers. We looked at halves of numbers. Half of 24. If you split 24 into 2 groups, 2 whats are 24? 2 12s are 24. Half of 10 is 5. 2 5s are 10. Okay, thinking about splitting things into halves. We're going to try another quiz in a moment, so we'll make sure that you can see all of the questions. Okay, so remember when we are looking at fractions, that fractions are about splitting things into equal parts. Okay, so let's have a little look. Let me cover some up so that we're not looking at everything at the same time. And for those of you who are new, you may not have met the fraction police last week. Okay, the fraction police come along and they check that things have happened fairly. They check that things have happened fairly. Okay, if you can see their lights are flashing. They make sure that things have been shared fairly. And if they have, they go away. If they haven't, they get out to investigate the crime scene. So the fraction police are just waiting here in the sidelines to come over to make sure that things have been shared fairly. So let's drop you down and you can see whether this is a fraction crime scene or not. Now, has that circle been divided into equal parts? Has that circle been divided into equal parts? Has that circle been divided into equal parts? Tell me yes or no. Has that circle been divided into equal parts? Circle A, has it been divided into equal parts? Yes, it has. There are how many equal parts? How many equal parts are there? There are equal parts, I agree, and there are 4 equal parts. And what do we call the fraction of 4 equal parts? What is that showing, that circle? It has been divided into what? It has been divided into what? What has it been divided into? Quarters, exactly. So that circle has been divided into 4 equal parts. 4 equal parts. The bottom number shows us how many equal parts the fraction has been divided into. That's called the denominator. And we have 4 of them, 4 equal parts, and they are called quarters. 4 equal parts, and they are called quarters. Okay, fraction, please, come along. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Moving on, moving on, moving on. You can move right on, fraction, please. Nothing to see here. Back to the police station. Okay, let's have a look at the next shape. Let's have a look at the next shape. How about this circle? Has circle B been divided into equal parts? Has circle B been divided into equal parts? Rexy, what do you think? No, Rexy doesn't think so. Well, let's have a look. If this was a cake and you really liked it and your friend said, you can have this part, and I will have this part. Would you be happy with that? No, Rexy saying no, he would not. You're not allowed cake, Rexy. So fraction, please. Over you come. Woo! Yep, they've got a sign to put down here. No, that is not fraction dividing, because fraction dividing is equal parts, and that circle has not been divided equally. That would not be fair if that was a cake and it was divided between two people. So let's have a look at circle C. Let's have a look at circle C. Has circle C been divided? If this was your favorite pizza, if you liked pizza and this was your favorite pizza, and I said to you, okay, you can have that slice and I'm going to have that slice, would that be fair? Do you think that is fair? Do you think that is fair? Has that been divided equally? Do the fraction police need to come? Does there need to be an intervention? Does there need to be a fraction police intervention? Here the fraction police come. Here they come. Oh, he's getting out of his van. No, that's very small. That's much bigger. That's smaller. Look at this tiny bit over here. No, no, no. Fraction police are not happy. No, that is not fractions. Fraction police, reverse from the crime scene. Yes, that circle had been divided into parts, but no, that circle had not been divided into equal parts. So let's have a look at this circle. What about this one here? What about circle D? Let's just move that up clearly. What about circle D? What about circle D? Has that been divided into equal parts? If so, tell me about it. If not, say no, it has not. Has that circle been divided into equal parts? And if so, what are they? If not, say no, it has not. No, it has not. Okay, we're looking at circle D now. We're looking at circle D. Has that circle been divided into 8 equal parts? Should we count, Rexy? Let's have a look. I'll keep my finger here so I know where I started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly. Fraction police are coming over to inspect the scene. Fraction police are coming over to inspect the scene. Ah, right. They've got a different notice to put up. They're going to put this notice and say, yes, this is fractions. There are 8 equal parts. We have all 8 of them. 8, 8. Make a whole. They are called eighths. Eighths. So when you put something into 8 equal parts, they are called eighths. When you split something into 8 equal parts, they are called eighths. Let's have a look at circle E. Circle E. What's going on here? What's going on here in circle E? Let's have a look at that. I'm going to put my finger here at 12 o'clock so I remember where I am, and I'm going to count in a clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 segments, and I don't think there'd be a lot of arguing. My drawing might make a little look like something's not equal, but actually they are. They are equal. Okay, as somebody thinks that that's not very equal there, I'll accept that, but that is that my drawing might not have made those look equal. So are we going to say no? We're going to say no because Miss Nikki's drawing was too bad. Let's have a look. Fraction. See what the fraction police say. Oh, no, the fraction police have agreed with you. The fraction police have said, yes, there are 12 parts, but no, Miss Nicole, they are not equal. And actually, what the fraction police are saying, look, oh, okay, I hear. They're saying that if they had this piece of pizza and you had that piece of pizza, they would not be very happy because this piece of pizza is much smaller than this piece of pizza. So, okay, all right, officer, I accept. No, there are 12 pieces, but they were not equal. No. Okay. No need to get cross. Right, let's have a little look at this last one then. Oh, we've got some colouring in here as well. Has circle F been divided into equal parts? Has circle F, there are 6 parts. Are those 6 parts equal? If that was a pizza and it was sliced like that and you liked it, would you be happy? Oh, Emily, you're very good at your emojis and putting your emojis in. You've even got the police now. Well done. No, exactly. No, it's not equal. Because again, well, let's see what the fraction please say. Woo! If they can, woo! Okay, all right, officer wants to get and demonstrate. He's going to use this big stick to demonstrate, and the officer is saying, this piece is not as big as this piece. So you would not be happy if you had this piece and somebody else had that piece. That is not fair sharing. Okay, officer, we accept what you're saying. Yes, we accept what you're saying. Oh, yes, you want another notice. All right. So let's put the other notice on. No. Thank you, officer, for coming along and helping us with those fractions. Thank you very much. They are not equal. They are not equal. So 2 of those circles had been divided equally, but 4 of them had not. But 4 of them had not. Okay. So when I was showing you those fractions, I introduced the way of showing the fractions in numbers as well. Okay. So when we are thinking about fractions and we show them in numbers in fraction talk, the bottom number, the denominator, it tells us how many equal parts something has been split into. Now that could be a something like a cake, a pizza. It could be a quantity of things, like a number of things, 20 things, 5 things, 4 things, 100 things, 1,000,000 things. That tells you how many equal groups you have split it into, the denominator. What does the numerator tell you? If the bottom number tells you how many equal parts something has been split into, what does the top number tell you? So if we had a circle and we have halves, if this is a cake, nice blueberry cake, okay, and we have half of that cake, that's how we are writing the fraction, 1/2. Now the bottom number tells us how many equal pieces or groups there are. What does that numerator tell us? What does the numerator tell us? What does the numerator tell us? What does the numerator tell us? The numerator tells us how many of those parts we have. So there are 2 equal parts and we have 1 of them. So 1/2. If we had both of them, we would have 2 halves, which is the whole thing. 2 equal groups, 2 of them, that's the whole thing, which we write as 1, the whole thing. So that's the whole thing, 1. When we start splitting it up into equal groups, we need to keep track of what we've got. So if we split that whole thing into 2 equal groups, we need to be able to have a way of describing that. So there's the whole thing. We've split it into 2 equal groups. There's 1 group, there's 2, and we have 2 of them. If now I said, take that half away, then we have 1/2 left. Okay, so the bottom number exactly tells you how many equal groups. The top number tells you how many of those equal groups you have. Now let's have a look at some fractions, different ways of splitting things up. So let's look at this one. How many equal parts are there? And what would we call each equal part? What would we call each equal part? How many equal parts? So say this many equal parts. Each part is what? Each part is called. So let's count them. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. And each part is called 1/4. Yeah. And can you write 1/4 in there for me as a fraction? Very good. Very good. Very good. So there are 4 equal parts and each part is 1/4. Each part is 1/4. 4 equal parts and each part is 1/4. Let's have a look at this next one then. Let's have a look at this one. We'll just move the paper along because it's much better just to be looking at one picture at a time. How many equal parts, and what do we call each part? Because the parts do not always have to be the same shape, do they? As long as they are equal. So this square, remember a square has 4 equal sides, has been divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. Each of those triangles is equal, an equilateral triangle. And when we split things into 4 equal parts, as we've said earlier, each part is 1/4. Each part is 1/4. So let's have a look at this one up here. How many equal parts? 8. How do we write each part? Each part is what? How do we write that fraction? How do we write that fraction? 8 equal parts. Each part is exactly 1/8. Each part is 1/8. Okay, each part is 1/8. And let's have a look at the bottom one, the last one. How many equal parts? And each part is what? How many equal parts? Each part, how do we write this fraction? So this rectangle has been split into 5 equal parts. And each part is 1/5. Each part is 1/5. Each part is 1/5. Okay. Each part is 1/5. 5 equal parts, and each part is 1/5. So if we are going to split things into different groups, as long as they are equal groups, we can use our sharing. So let's have a look at splitting things into 4. Let's have a look at splitting things into 4. Okay, so I have got 8 pence. 8 pence. What's 1/4 of 8 pence? 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 So there's 8 pence, and each friend is going to get 1/4. Well, 4 equal groups, they all get 2 pence each. So 1/4 of 8 is 2. 1/4 of 8 is 2. Let's try. What's 1/4 of 20? If I had 20 pence, what's 1/4 of 20? How much would my friends get each? What's 1/4 of 20? What's 1/4 of 20? If I had 20 pence, what's 1/4? So you're dividing 20 by 4. How many 4s are in 20? How many will be in each group when you group 4 equal groups? So I've got 20 pence here. 5 pence for you, 5 pence for you, 5 pence for you, 5 pence for you. Because 4 5s are 20. So 1/4 of 20 is 5. Because 4 5s are 20. 4 5s, all the same. All the same, equal. 4 5s are 20. 4 5s are 20. What's 1/4 of 40? What's 1/4 of 40? 4 watts are 40. 4 watts are 40. What's 1/4 of 40? What's 1/4 of 40? What's 1/4 of 40? 4 watts are 40. Exactly. Use your times tables. 4 watts are 40. Well, 4 tens are 40. So 10p for you, 10p for you, 10p for you, 10p for you. So 1/4 dividing by 4. Dividing by 4, 1/4. Let us before we finish, do another quiz. So make sure on the quizzes, on your screen, you'll see a tiny, tiny little grey bar. Okay, am I going to point to it now? Let's have a little look. Am I pointing to it? Where's my hand? It's on this side. Whoa, no, the other side. there. No. It's this way. Right, on the side over here, okay, on this side of the screen. I'm just trying to get my finger in the camera. That's it, there. Can you see there's a little grey line, vertical line? It's in the middle of your screen at the moment. If you use that to scroll down, you'll get to the other questions, okay? There's a little grey bar on your screen. Yeah, it's just there. There we are, there on the side of your screen. Use that and you scroll down to the other questions. So we're going to do another quiz to finish off. And this is finding quarters. It's going to ask you, what is the quarter of this number? So remember, dividing by 4. If you made groups of 4, how many groups of 4 could you make? Okay, how many groups of 4 could you make? So I'm just going to get the survey up. Here we are, quarters. Okay, off you go. Off you go. So the first question is, what is 1/4 of 8? So 4 watts make 8. So remember, you've got that little grey line on the side that will allow you to scroll down. What is 1/4 of 12? 4 watts make 12. Use the grey line on the right-hand side and it will scroll you down. What is 1/4 of 20? 4 watts make 20. 4 watts make 20. Okay. So yeah, just use that scroll line to scroll down to see the other questions. Okay, scroll down to see the other questions. Scroll down to see the other questions. Yeah, you should be able to see all of them now. Let's scroll down. That's it. So thinking about how many groups of 4, how many 4 watts make that number? If I had 2 and I split it into 4 equal groups, so if I had 8, bit of a giveaway there, but you should have gone past that question. If I have 8 and I split it into 4 equal groups, how many is going to be in each group? That's 1/4. I have 20 and I've got to make 4 equal groups. 4 watts are 20. That's 1/4. Okay. Yay. Good. You got it. You scrolled down. Well done. Fantastic. Okay. So don't worry. Nobody else can see your answers. Only you. So do not worry about having a go. Nobody else can see your answers. Only you. Okay. So I'm going to end the quiz. Yeah, and I'm going to share your results so that you can see them. Okay, and it will tell you how many questions you answered. And so if you got 100%, you answered all the questions. 100% is the total, is the whole. It's the same as one whole one. And if you got 100% on your points, then you got all of them. So your answers will say how many out of 3 you did, and your points will tell you how many out of 3 you got. Okay, so I can't see individually what you got. So can you tell me if you got 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, and you can write that like 1/3. 1/3, 1/3 of the answers, 2/3, 2/3, 3/3 means you got the whole test correct. Can you just tell me so I can see? Oh, well done. Oh, good job you saw the 3rd question then, because you did better when you could see it. Oh, well done. Good. Oh, lots of people got them all right. So great. You used that tables knowledge, the 4 times table, to help you find 1/4. Okay, so well done. So we're going to stop sharing the results now. I'm going to come back so I can see you. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me better on the full screen. So thank you for joining today. We are going to send you another little brain teaser, which you can have a go at, or you can just do it when we come back together next week. But if you have got some time, you could just have a little go. So well done. Brilliant. Thank you for joining. We will be back next Tuesday with the lesson for years 1 and 2. We are going to now do 2 more lessons for years 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Please, please, please share this with your friends. Ask your grown-ups to please share this with your friends and let them know that we are offering this live interactive teaching. And let's get the numbers up and get more people joining us. And we will be back next Tuesday. And thank you for joining us. Give me a wave goodbye. Say goodbye. Let's sign off. Hello, bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Once again, it's been delightful to spend that time with you. Rexy wants to say goodbye. All right, Rexy, come on, let's say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. And of course, if you haven't joined us before, you will know that we finish with a celebration. Ooh, well done, well done. Can you see? It's flashing, but let me just turn it down. Let's just tilt it that way, and then you can see the lights are flashing. Well done, well done, well done from Bright Idea Education. Thank you very much. Much appreciated for you to come too. See you next week or see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.